it's such an honor to have you here. You are a director, a filmmaker with more than 20 years of experience in media. You have worked in brilliant shows such as Strictly Come Dancing, The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, Sir David Frost Show for Al Jazeera, and many more. But who is Matt behind the scenes? How would you describe yourself? What are your hobbies and passions? You have worked in the humanitarian sector in the last 6 years.
Well, I'm pretty ordinary, really. I am quite easily pleased, quite easygoing, but then sometimes I can get a bee in my bonnet and be quite fastidious and a little bit precise with some things. But generally speaking, pretty easygoing. I love my art. I'm an artist. I'm a painter. I write. I've written a book. It's about to be published. My hobbies and passions, I suppose. I love watching films. Actually, my favorite spot is to be just laid in bed watching a movie on my laptop. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite things. I do love, I love hiking and trekking. I love the countryside, fishing, swimming. Yeah, I suppose those are my hobbies and passions, really. Art, painting, films, swimming, a bit of cooking sometimes, trekking, and of course traveling. That's I wouldn't say it's a hobby, it's more a job, but it's a job stroke hobby. So really, I'm really lucky to do the job because it feels like I'm just having fun all the time. Well, not really having fun, but I'm doing what I love.
And you have mentioned that this experience has changed your life forever. Can you tell us a little bit more about your experience and how it is helping other people worldwide?
Working in the humanitarian field for the last 6 years has, I would say, changed my life forever. Before this, I spent 20 years, as you know, 20 years working in mainstream film and TV. I still do work in mainstream film and TV as well to keep my head above water. Life isn't cheap in London. So the last 6 years, yeah, I was on it was my first ever actual job in the charity sector as a videographer, a filmmaker. And we were traveling across country through to the refugee camps in Greece. So from London to Greece in an aid convoy. So we went from London, we drove through France, Belgium, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and then into Greece. We did that in about 5 days. And when we got to Germany, I think it was the third day, end of the third day, the guy who was the partner with the charity I was working for, and the other charity that he was founder of, Hope and Aid Direct, has been running for about 30 years. And the guy's called Charles Storer. And he said to me, he's like, Matt, have you been to a refugee camp before? And I'm like, no, I haven't. He's like, well, it will change your life. So, and I was like, oh yeah, I can imagine. And so conceptually I got it, but I didn't realize how much of an effect and impact it would have on my life. Seeing it for the first time, seeing people who were passportless, stateless, with no recourse for anything, no rights, no nothing. Awful. Seeing how they lived, doctors, engineers, pilots, teachers, a whole array of people that you see in everyday life in every single country, but because war was in their country, war had come to their country. The things they'd studied in university for years, the jobs the professionals they were, was washed away. They had nothing but their lives, and each other. And even then, some people didn't even have that. So it had a profound impact on my life. And it made me realize that this is what I want to focus on. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to work in this sector. I want to try and help people with the skill set that I have to try and help people. And here's the thing. This is key for anyone who wants to be involved in the charity sector. You see people go, oh, I want to go and help, but actually some people can become a burden by going, without a skill set, for example. So if you have a skill set, think about how you can take that, how you can help. It may not be in the field, it may not be abroad, it may be back in the UK or Romania or Albania or wherever you come from, you know, France, Germany, wherever you come from in the world. You can utilize your skill set to help people. So yeah, and so my skill set was filmmaking, you know, and by making the content I make, that helps people. That I believe it does, you know, fundraising and raising awareness, you know.
According to you, Matt, what are the main humanitarian challenges and what steps can we take as a society to help alleviate these problems? How important is compassion and what can be done to cultivate compassion in life?
Well, what I've just spoken about, on an individual basis, you have to start with ourselves, start with yourself, look at what you're doing, how you live, how you're doing it. For example, I mean, I'm going to talk about Palestine. You know, Palestine has been a humanitarian. You're not allowed to take sides. You know, there's the 4 humanitarian principles, and 2 of those are impartiality and neutrality. So you're not allowed to take sides. However, when one views oppression and one stays silent, then I believe, this is my belief, you become part of the problem. So therefore, when you witness oppression, wherever it may come from, one needs to speak out and stand up against that oppression, you know. So start with yourself and then come together with other people, because unity is what makes change, what drives change, you know. Raising awareness, spreading the word. I'll give an example of this. I was filming a course for men's mental health and well-being in the UK. And one of the guys on there, I got talking about some of the stuff I did, the work I've done, showed him some bits and pieces, talked to him about, so he asked me questions about what was going on in Palestine. And this guy is from a part of the UK, working class, didn't know anything about anything outside of the UK pretty much, apart from going on holiday. So when I told him, I shared the information, he was driving through his part of the countryside and he saw a protest outside an arms factory in the Midlands. And he recorded this protest. He went and joined the protest. And now he talks to other people about it. So by sharing information, sharing the truth, make sure you back your opinions up with facts. This is really important. You can make a difference. Now you talk about compassion. How important is compassion and what can be done to cultivate compassion in life? Well, there's a phrase my mum would always use, and it's never judge a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And that's a great saying to lead your life by when it comes to interacting with other people. Try and put yourself in the position of the person who needs help. And even if not the person that needs help, even it could be a difference of opinion, you know, but try and think in that person's mindset, try and think where they're coming from, why they're hurting, what things are offending someone, you know, what comes up in yourself, you know, when you look at a situation and say it angers you, you think, well, why does it anger me? What am I feeling right now? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling scared? Fear is one of the biggest cause of problems worldwide. You know, you look at wars, people have fear about what someone else is going to do to them, which then fosters more problems, behavioral, mental, whichever way you want to look at it. So try and have empathy in someone else's situation. And this, more often than not, will turn to compassion. Some people just don't have compassion. And, you know, what can you do? You can only say so much, and then it's up to the individual. But I would say try and put yourself in someone else's shoes, as far as compassion is concerned. But yeah, it's vital to help humanity. You need to have compassion.
What are your future plans? What are your goals, dreams, ambitions?
One of the main things I have plans for, obviously I'm a filmmaker, so I'll continue to make films, inshallah. And I've written a book which is being published, self-publishing. So let's see how that goes. You know, maybe it will lead to more books, maybe it won't. But at least my experiences in the charity sector are recorded for all to see. If anyone chooses to buy it, it's there. You know, I've shared my experiences. But my future plans, I'm starting a charity called Migration Relief, and this is solely aimed at helping refugee populations because they are the most dispossessed people on the planet, all over the planet. You know, it doesn't matter what race, creed, religion, wherever you're from, if you're a refugee and you need help, this is what I want to do with my charity. With my wife as well, my wife Farah, she is part of this, and a big part of this is to do with mental health as well. So that's the biggest future plan. I would like to dedicate the rest of my life to running a charity and making the content to go with it. So that's my aim. Of course, I'm an artist as well, so I would love to keep painting. But one thing is for sure, that every day I wake up, I turn my will and my life over to God, and I thank him for everything he gives to me. And that's how I start every day. So yeah, those are my plans.
Can you tell me a leadership quote that has had a big influence and impact in your life, inspiring you both in professional but also in your daily life?
Now, this isn't a quote from a real person. This is from a film. However, I think it matches life perfectly. And it's from the film Gladiator, and it's Maximus Decimus Meridius, the hero of the film. He says, what we do in life echoes in eternity. I just love it. That is my favorite phrase. Leadership quote, because he was a leader. He was leader of the armies of the North in the film. Another one, I've got a few actually. There's another one I love, which is a ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what it was built for. That inspired me a lot when I was younger. In fact, that's probably my first inspirational quote when I was at school, when I saw that.
Thank you so much, Matt, for the interview. We wish you all the very best.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for having me on your show.